And we're back. We're off and running. This is the Great Classic Rock Debate. I'm Kenny,
Paul with zero qualifications.
And I'm Steve.
and we talk anything and everything classic rock. We try to keep it interesting, and we try to have fun. If you're watching right now, please like, comment, and subscribe. We will love you for that. Tonight's topic, Steve, I want to give you all credit because this is a great idea. And we had kind of touched on this a while back. We were talking about radio edits and songs where they took the full length version and chopped it down to make it more suitable for radio. And oftentimes that means cutting out a great intro. In fact, there's times when it's criminal the way they cut out the intros. So our topic for tonight, we're going to talk about what is the greatest. What is the greatest? I was thinking about this, and there is a distinction between most iconic versus greatest. Because sometimes iconic just simply refers to the fact that the song itself is, larger than life, but the intro might not necessarily be. Okay. So we're talking about the greatest intro. So does anybody want to start us off? I'll be happy to, but Steve, it was your idea, so we should defer to
Yeah, you start, Steve.
Yeah. All right. So don't kill me. But Moody Blues, I think this is the most beautiful intro ever. And this is what I thought of, where I was going with. In Your Wildest Dreams by the Moody Blues, which was like 1986. Again, it's a little bit of a departure from kind of their stuff from the 70s.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's the intro is about 30 seconds. It's all keyboard. A lot of people thought that it was a theremin, but it's actually just keyboard synthesizer. And it really has just a beautiful sounding melody. In my mind, like when I go to heaven, that's the sound I'm going to hear, is that little intro. And then it fades out with, I don't even know how to, there's a fade out. And then it just goes right into the main verse of the song.
Right. So let me comment really quick. That's a great choice. Oh my God. That is a great choice. And you're right. That's a fantastic intro. But what I was hoping that we were not going to be too predictable tonight, because I Googled a little bit and there's a lot of great choices that are sort of automatic and predictable choices. And not that there's anything wrong with those, but I don't want us to just make a bunch of obvious choices that anybody would make. So you're starting us off with a very unlikely, but really, really good choice. I like it. So man, two thumbs up for that one.
Well done. All right, I'll go next.
Go ahead.
I'm probably going to sing the name of the same band, because I think somehow that's part of their formula. And I'm going to start with AC/DC, and the song is "Whole Lotta Rosie," and it's just no.
Right.
I want to tell you about a girl I know. She ain't exactly pretty. She ain't exactly small. 54, she's got it all. You could say she's got it all, and then it's just like, whoa!
Right.
It goes from first to 12th gear. It doesn't. It just like so. All right, that was mine.
It is my only comment to that. When I was thinking about intros, it's a great intro, but it's part of the song. It's not like you can't really separate that from the song. I'm not criticizing it, but when I was thinking of intros, it was kind of something a little bit different. But it's good that we all are thinking differently, so that's
right.
Okay.
And it's funny, Steve, that you mentioned that, because as I was looking over all of the ones that were being suggested online, they don't fit neatly into a box. Some are shorter, some are longer, and there's different criteria as to what makes it a great intro. So we'll get into all of that as we move along. And for the record, man, there's a lot of good AC/DC songs with really great intros, and Led Zeppelin too. So I said I'll probably sort of leave some of those to you guys, but those two in particular, there was a lot of songs that were nominated. Okay, so the song that actually started this discussion a month or two back was "Crazy on You" by Heart. Yeah. And so it's, we talked about how I said I didn't know until 5 years after that album was released that "Crazy on You" even had an intro, because radio never, and I mean never, played it. And I got the album in a cutout bin for 99 cents, probably around 80 or 81, took it home and played it. And when I heard that intro, I go, what is this? Are you kidding? What? And it was, man, it was jaw dropping. And I was like, that is a crime to play that song without that intro. Now, let me go into a little bit more of why this intro is so fantastic. So again, there's lots of different things that can make a great intro. In this case, I feel like you've got this enormous contrast, right? You got this kind of bluesy acoustic guitar notes. It's almost like teeing it up, you know? They're setting it up. It's not that it's soft, but it's not hard, okay? And it's setting it up, and then suddenly lightning and thunder just rain down, and that song kicks into full rock mode. And to me, it just blows me away when I hear it. So for me, it's like the prototype. It's just the greatest. There's probably others that are equally great, but for me, it's like the greatest rock intro imaginable.
I totally agree. I love that. And I must have got the album because I knew that was always there. I'm not trying to, but then you hear the radio and you're like, well, hold on. And then it goes me down that road. Are there two separate edits? I mean, two separate versions, and then you guys, well, they just chopped off a minute of the song, maybe.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, because they want to squeeze in an extra commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
That was good one, Kenny.
Yeah, so that's probably my greatest example, and it does everything an intro should do for a great song. If the song wasn't great, the intro probably wouldn't matter that much. But in this case, it's such a great rock song, and that intro just tees it up. So anyway, there you go.
All right, Steve, your turn, buddy.
Okay. So one of the greatest rock bands of all time, Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want. They have a nice little chorus or choral. It looks like Kenny is leaving us here for
arrangement. Yeah. No,
arrangement.
Go for it.
And it sounds like a church choir singing.
Yep.
That goes on for the first, I don't know, minute or so. And I noticed, over the last, they're not using it now, but a certain politician was using it during their speeches, at the close of their speeches. You can't always get what you want. But I just felt that was very fitting, just very unique for the time. They have a church choir basically in a Rolling Stones song.
Agreed.
And then it blends into kind of an acoustic intro.
Yeah.
And then later on in the song, you hear additional organs and such. But I think that's, to me, the quintessential, maybe my second favorite opening of all time. So
good choice. Excellent.
All right. So I was going to say something else, but I'll do that on my next round. Since Steve brought up, I want to bring it up because Steve will probably steal my thunder the next time. And the same thing, same kind of intro. I was at a Chicago pizzeria, and the pizzeria was this old building. And it was like 3 stories up to go when you walked in. I can't remember. I don't know if it was a church or whatever it was. And so in the lobby, when you order the pizzas, they close this door, but you have to sit in this giant old lobby. It's got stairs. And so all of a sudden I hear this organs. And I'm like, hold it. And it was Your Time Is Gonna Come by Led Zeppelin. And they had a really good stereo in there. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like I'm at church. And it was like, I got my pizzas. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here for a minute and listen. I had never heard Led Zeppelin in that kind of space before. And it was bouncing around. It was like, yeah, it was great. It's just like what Steve said. It's a similar vibe.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Good call. I like it.
Lying, cheating, all you seem to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Messing around with every guy in town.
And another very unconventional and unpredictable choice. So I like that. Okay. Am I up?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go. We've talked about this one before also. I'm going all the way back to college days. 79 is going into 80, and it's winter. And Steve, man, I'm sure you've experienced this, but the winters there were cold and rainy and miserable. And I swear weeks went by in which the sun never came out. And it was just like, oh God, this is horrible. And don't go anywhere without carrying an umbrella. And as the winter term was drawing to an end, this would be like around the end of February, beginning of March, whatever, suddenly I start hearing this song on the radio, The Spirit of Radio by Rush. Okay. And I've told you guys this before. For me, it felt like that song was shutting the door on winter, ushering in the spring. And that opening intro, I swear it gave me a chill up my spine every time. Maybe my heart race, I would hear it and it just felt like great things are on the horizon. Every time I heard that song, it just made my heart pump. And I just felt like, man, the dark, dreary, cold, rainy stuff is over. Springtime ahead, and let's roll, baby. So anyway, it brings back such good memories. And even when I hear it to this day, man, I get that same really good vibe.
Yeah, it's a happy song. Like when you hear that song, you're just like, all right, the next 5 minutes are not going to suck.
Right. Right. And this one, The Spirit of Radio, as opposed to the one I was talking about, Her Heart, where it's a contrast, this one is just simply leading in to greatness, and it hits you with the energy right away. There's no contrasting energy between the intro and the song. It just leads you right into it. And I just love it.
I think you guys all know my feelings about Rush and the Midwest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But
all right,
no,
your turn, Steve.
Great choice. Okay. Where was I going? So I got a newer one that has really grown on me the first time I heard it, I knew this was it for me too. Heat Above by Greta Van Fleet. Again, going back, staying with the church organ kind of theme. Again, I've heard many people say, when you go to heaven, this is what's going to be playing. So there's a beautiful kind of organ intro to it, and then before the main verse just begins. And a similar comment for me is, when we go from winter to spring, the first kind of nice day of the year, I roll down the windows in my car and blast that when I'm driving through the mountains, and it is really like it's a heavenly sound for me. So Heat Above by Greta Van Fleet.
Excellent. Good choice.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go way off. Neither one of you two are going to know this band, so I already know.
Okay.
It's an all-black rock band, and they're called Follow for Now.
Okay, I don't know them. You're right.
About 30 years ago, and they had a minor hit, cult hit, and it was a cover of a Public Enemy song called Channel Zero.
Okay.
And it starts off with a guy introducing the Earth and all the planets, and it takes like a minute, and it goes Channel 3 and Channel 0, and they start playing it. I had never heard the Public Enemy version of it, but I promise you two would like the song because it talks about how TV soap operas make these people to be unreal, and the women, and he's talking about these women, and I guess Chuck D is talking about black women, but I have to ask him, I don't know him. And he goes, you see this and you think this is real, and he goes, there's a 5-letter word that describes your character because your brain is being washed by an actor. And every real man, and she goes from men like channels, because she thinks she's gonna find this guy that's on the soap opera.
Right.
He'll love her no matter what and put up all her bull crap. And he's like, nope. Chuck D's like, no, he ain't doing that. So this band covered that song, and the way that starts out, it's brilliant. Follow for Now, Channel 0.
I gotta pull it up on YouTube then, because I don't know it, but now I want to find it. Okay, well, another great choice, and I got to tell you, totally unpredictable. So, because you guys, I don't know if you guys Googled or not, but if you Google this greatest rock intros, you get a lot of I'm not saying this as a criticism, but you get a lot of very predictable and even obvious choices. And if we name some of those again, that's fine, but I don't want to just go down a list of those and have everybody say, I could have Googled that, rather than listening to you three buttheads. Right? So, okay.
Buttheads.
This next one, okay, again, for me, easily one of the greatest intros ever. The song is Greengrass and High Tides by the Outlaws. Okay. Now, Steve, before your time.
Yeah.
However, you're a guitarist, so I don't know if you know it or not. You might. This song is a 10-minute Southern rock epic. I mean, if I'm exaggerating, Paul, tell me.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I know of the Outlaws, but I've never heard the song. So
okay.
now
Greengrass and High Tides. and it's just it opens with just a very simple guitar, a series of guitar notes. And when you hear the first note, you know what it is. And so you go, oh my God. It's like you want to put down what you're doing. Just stop what you're doing because things are about to get good. And it just slowly builds and slowly builds. And then the crescendo comes in and that song rips. And you know, the way that the other Southern rock epics do also, Freebird and whatever. So anyway, it's typical of that. And it's got tons of great guitar, and lyrically, in my opinion, lyrically a really great song because they are paying homage to different rock stars who have passed on in the song. That's what I mean. Greengrass and High Tides is sort of a
metaphor
to heaven. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, can't recommend it strong enough. The intro is amazing and epic and unforgettable. So Greengrass and High Tides by the Outlaws.
Definitely have to check it out now.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm up. So I'm going to go with Creedence and the Midnight Special.
Oh, yes.
For those of you who are familiar with the Twilight Zone movie, I believe this is the song that they played at the beginning with Dan Aykroyd and
the movie, the 83 movie.
Albert Brooks.
Yes.
Yes. It's Albert Brooks.
1983 movie. Yep. While they're in the car and they're like, "Hey, do you want to see something scary?"
Right.
But the beginning of that is, you know, just John Fogerty singing, almost a cappella.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a few guitar chords in there, and then it just kicks in. You know, this is not a rocker, but it's just it's a very Southern rock kind of slow song. But that intro of it there's something about it. It's bluesy. It's very Southern.
It's great.
Rock.
Yeah, it is.
It's great.
And I want to make a comment. I did see Fogerty this week at Red Rocks.
Oh wow.
And that man, 79 years old. Oh my God, incredible voice, and he is a guitar god.
Yeah, he is. He is.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And he's probably the most underrated guitar player. You don't hear his name mentioned when you talk about great guitar players, but
right. Within the past 2 weeks, one of the channels that I browse regularly put up a video, and it was titled almost that exact thing. This guy is not, how come this guy is not on all the lists of great guitarists? And it was about John Fogerty. So
yeah.
Great choice.
Check him out for those of you who are, if you get a chance to see him live. I mean, he wails and, heard it through the grapevine. There's a long version of that. They play it live. So, but Midnight Special.
I should also add real quick that when I Googled, there was a bunch of Creedence songs that were suggested on there. So, that's a good one. All right, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. This band was notorious at the beginning. I think they did it 3 or 4 times where they would have a song that was instrumental, and then they would work it into the song. And of course, which is a great song. Talk about Van Halen.
Right.
And I think they did it with some covers. So the first one, Eruption, went into You Really Got Me by the Kinks.
Right.
The next one was Intruder, which was a really, really cool, and it fades into Pretty Woman. By Roy Orbison, and then they do it on Fair Warning too at the end of that hour. So so they have this, and like the guitar when he's finishing up Eruption, it goes wow 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 wow, and but I always thought it goes, and then there's like a split second of the edit, or he stopped, and it goes
right,
and you're like, oh my God. So it's so that's brilliant how they realized.
Yes. And
if someone played that damn thing on the radio, and it's just like Heartbreaker and Living Loving Me, you can't play Eruption without playing.
Exactly. Yeah. and Van Halen, they were masters of using the little instrumental intro and teeing it up, and then having the rock song come in and hit it out of the park. And they were masters of it. Yeah. And so this is going to sort of lead me into my next one. So let me tell you what my choice is not first, okay? I'm going to give you a long list of songs. It's not. No. One of the popular choices was Boston's Foreplay Long Time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you why I'm not choosing that. Okay. And it's not because I disagree, but for me, Foreplay is not an intro. Those are just two complete songs.
I
Yep.
agree. Yeah, I
And
agree
And if you
100%.
want to say, well, it's a complete song that serves as an intro, that's fine. I'm not fighting over this. But I look at the intro as more as something that's maybe a minute long or even less. Okay. 20 seconds. I don't care. If it's a full length song, for me, it's not really an intro so much. So I chose a Boston song, but not Foreplay Long Time. Okay. And the song that I chose was never a hit, but it was on side two, because, it was an LP. It was on side two of Boston's debut album. And this song is called Something About You. All right.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. And it has kind of this long, it's slow, and you got Brad Delp's kind of, it's almost like not a moan. I don't know how to describe it. He's just giving kind of a high pitched wail in the background of a very soft instrumental, and right as it comes to an end, oh my God, the guitar just comes crashing in. It like punches you in the face. And I'm like, man, that is such a brilliant use of contrast right there. They set you up with this soft and slow and low energy piece, and then just kick the crap out of you with this rock song. So if you're not familiar with the song, and it's not two separate, it's one song. If you're not familiar with Something About You by Boston, pull it up. Man, are you in for a treat.
Yeah. And that's kind of classic Boston. I mean, to me, they set you up and just with something slow and then just knock you out.
Yeah.
If we have any younger viewers, just take that album, go in your parents' living room or your bedroom or wherever, and just turn the lights out and close your eyes and just listen to it. It's the way it's mastered, the way it plays back.
It's phenomenal.
And you got to listen to it like through real speakers, not through earbuds.
Here. No, that's right, Steve. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And especially that album, because the engineering.
Oh yeah, there's so many things going on.
Yeah, it's in another stratosphere.
Or if you have a pair of really high quality headphones, you'll be able to hear it too. But Apple earbuds not going to do the work. So
right.
All right, I'm probably up. So this might be my favorite song from the greatest band of all time, Led Zeppelin. And I don't know if this counts, but how many more times? And if you listen to the live version of that, it's just the bass. And there's when they first came out, there's a Danish TV special where they're playing live around a group of like 20 people just sitting around the stage. And they're about 2 feet off the ground. But they just start with John Paul Jones on the bass, just playing the simple riff. They do that for a few measures. They slowly build up, and then Jimmy Page and Bonham jump in, banging on the drums and the guitar, and it is to me the most powerful rock opening of all time. I can't think of anything more powerful than that.
Good
and again,
choice.
I go back and forth on what my favorite Zeppelin song is on a day-to-day basis, but this is probably always lands in my top 3. So how many more times? It's the closing track on the first album. So I think that's the way you close an album out too. So
could agree more. Steve, that's
phenomenal choice. Yeah.
If you said Going to California is a good opening, I said okay.
But you can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin.
No, I know. I was agreeing with you.
Trust me, there were so many songs. If you Google greatest rock intro, there's a lot of Zeppelin songs. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go a little band that we all know, a little more. And sometimes, a couple of times, Steve, maybe, and Kenny, 3 or 4 times this happened to me. When it came on, I looked up. I go, "Oh, is it raining?" It's Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh shit, that's the song. That's the music. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, so when it starts coming on and he goes, "Bah, I see a finger, man in black pointing at me." I'm scared. So you're like, can you imagine
that's their opening track on their first album, and it is unforgettable.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Paul, remember we saw them live on their final tour, and we were like, right dead center of the stage, about 10 rows back. They opened with that track. And man, even then, I'm still scared.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
chords. It's just unbelievable how that song holds up. And yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's killer.
Here's what I want to. I'm going to London in March, and I've done this before, Steve. I mean, I've done the Jack the Ripper tour.
Okay.
So what I want to do, I want to play that song. And let me tell you, I think it's the East End of London where all the murders, where it's called Whitechapel. It's the financial. There's no one there at night. I'm telling you, if the three of us and I had a machine gun, and we're walking through that thing, you'd still be scared. I'm telling you, dude, it's scary. Like,
All right.
there's buildings, and the original bridge of the walls of Londinium, the room are still there, even now, like 1,500 years later. It's scary while the murders happen. Okay? So if you play this Black Sabbath song, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Right.
So yeah, that was mine. The way, and, I don't know at that time how many bands had put in sound effects of music or of rain. I mean, that was just
not
genius.
many. Yeah. 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 It was spooky. Yeah.
Yeah. 1970. I mean, that's why
1970. Yeah. Yeah.
they're the godfathers of heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Kenny.
Okay. So again, this is going to be sort of an oddball choice, but as an intro, it is amazing. The song is Don't Change by NXS. Okay. Which isn't really even considered a classic rock song, although it should be, because of all of NXS's entire library of songs, this is the one. It's very different from most of their other work. And this is the one that, for me, qualifies in every possible way as classic rock, whatever. But it leads in with this long, how do I describe it? Like a synthesizer. And
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Guy is, and by the way, you will appreciate it even more if you watch the original video, because number one, they look like teenagers. I think it was recorded in 81 or 82. They look like kids. And if you want to just see the pure joy of youth rocking, that's what you're seeing in this video. A truck backs them into this studio or something, and they just jump out, pick up their instruments, and start playing. But that intro, it's sort of a long piece of synthesizer, and little guitar pieces are starting to build.
Oh, it goes.
And, yes. And then everything kicks in at once, and the energy just goes through the atmosphere. It's great. It really is. It's a great song, but that intro is one in a million. It's in its own category for the way it introduces the song, but it's brilliant, and I love it. Never get tired.
So Steve, you were born, but you weren't. So Kenny and I went to Auburn, and our end of whatever year it was, your junior year, my freshman end of the. Two things happened on TV: ESPN and MTV happened within. So MTV first came out, it had like 8 videos over and over and over.
Right.
And so one day,
I'm not even sure if it was 8. It was 4, I think.
Well, they're like 5 Hall & Oates videos, and
the Go-Go's.
Yeah, so I had a broken ankle like I do now on my right leg. So I'm stuck in the TV room, and I'm watching MTV, and I'm like, okay, I'm sick of this crap. And then they put on The One Thing by NXS.
Right.
I'm like, Inxus. That's what I literally thought.
I said the same thing.
I mean, it's NXS. And I'm like, who are these guys? They're good looking, and they're having fun and talking about girls, which is my favorite topic.
Right.
And then like about the 20th time, they go, oh, they're from Australia. And I went,
right.
Now it makes sense. So I can't see
Yes.
Americans doing this. So I would grab people, hey, check this out. Oh, that's a pretty good song. So anyway, you know what I think, Kenny? I have no proof of this. Maybe there was some time between when that song was recorded. There had to be 2 years between that video and the video for The One Thing. It has to be.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Like he looks much older.
It's an obvious age difference, even though they're not. I mean, they're on 2 different albums, but there's an obvious.
No, they're on the same album.
I think you're right.
Shabu Shaba.
Yeah, you are correct. You are correct.
And what I think I might be right only is because Don't Change the World is the last song on the album.
It is correct. That is correct.
So, what was I going to say? Oh my God. So anyway, anyway, it's great, 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 great.
Yeah, the video is great, the song's great, and that intro is unforgettable. And when you hear it, you know instantly what it is. It's so instantly recognizable. So, okay, anyway, go ahead. By the way, guys, we are down to under 3 minutes. So
right.
do
one more each, Steve.
One more each.
Go ahead,
buddy. I had to pick a Slash song, so I was going back and forth, and I think I'm going to settle with Velvet Revolver and Slither.
Okay, which song?
There is, again, it goes back to just kind of really a bass intro followed by of the main riff, followed by, and if you hear it live, they really build up to it. GNR plays it live, Slash plays it live, but they really build up to it for about a minute of the bass line, and then it just smashes you in the face with the main guitar riff. So, Velvet Revolver, Slither, that's mine.
Good song, good choice.
Mine is way back. Book of Dreams, and the first
Steve
thing
Miller.
is Threshold, which is an instrumental, and then it goes into Jet Airliner.
Yes, awesome, awesome.
It's like now.
Yep,
I'm like,
and that's another one that was very common for radio to not play it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just phenomenal. Yeah, instrumental. It tees it up so that Steve Miller can then hit it out of the park. Great choice, Paul, by the way. And I had that one on my list. My last choice is going to be Gimme Shelter. Steve did a Stone song earlier. I'll finish with this one. Has a very unique but also unforgettable intro, sort of a slow building, shimmering guitar, and continues to amp up, and then the song kicks in, and I don't know. And also it was at that weird time right after the right around the time of the concert where the guy got killed or whatever. Yeah. And it has a certain, I don't know what, kind of a weird vibe to it, the song does.
Yeah, I've always said it's one of the strangest intros I've ever heard, and I don't know how they play it. I don't know how they recorded it. I know it's a guitar, but it's so strange, and it's got just a weird chord structure. I mean, it's brilliant, but
it's brilliant. It is. Okay, we are less than a minute, so we're going to wrap it up. This is the Great Classic Rock Debate. I'm Kenny.
I'm Paul.
I'm Steve.
And if you're watching, guys, this was a fun show tonight. Okay, but we're right up against it. If you're watching right now, please like, comment, and subscribe. We will love you for that. Well, until we meet again, we'll see you next time.